Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with two lovely ladies with TRILUNA. They are friends, business partners, and co-founders of TRILUNA. We're here with Ashley, Brooke, James, and Elizabeth Moore. How are you two doing?
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning. We're doing well. How are you?
Doing very well. So let's talk about wellness. Let's talk about diversity, inclusion. There's so much ground to cover with what you're doing, including a big festival too. So let's start with a little bit of just your personal backgrounds and stories. Ashley, let's start with you. Give us a little bit of your personal storyline leading into Elizabeth and then starting TRILUNA. So Ashley, share your story.
Absolutely. Well, I come from 10 years of corporate recruiting and sales, and I did that for a long time. I traveled a lot, and through that, I developed chronic migraines. I've always had migraines, but it came on another level. And I was really looking for a way to take care of myself. At that time, I wasn't really finding anything in corporate programming, like wellness programming, besides things that didn't make me look good, that were benefiting me. And so I found yoga and I became obsessed and I loved it. And I wanted to become certified, and I did. And I was teaching and working, and it was great. And I really loved wellness, but I wanted to do it full time, but I just wasn't really sure what yet. All the signs was telling me to do it. And I just decided to leave my corporate job. I was supposed to leave in December of 2017. I left in March of 2017. And then I registered for my second yoga teacher training, and that's where I met Elizabeth. And I noticed very quickly she was going through the same thing that I was going through a couple of months earlier, and I gave her the advice that my husband gave me, and that was for her to outwork the work that she's doing and just go for it.
Nice. So that's a great segue. Elizabeth, share your story.
Yeah. So I come from 10 years of marketing and branding. So together we, 20 years of sales and marketing, which has definitely been beneficial to us. But I was in a kind of a high pressure agency job. And I had a health coaching company on the side where I was working through realistic, sustainable nutrition. I actually come to wellness through many, many years of eating disorder, which I have fought to redefine for myself and for my body. And so I found wellness through that and knew I wanted to pursue it, but I was working this high intensity marketing job. And I had just gone to Pompeii. I was in Rome with my mom and my sister, and we went down to Pompeii. And it just occurred to me in that moment that it could all be over instantaneously. I've got one shot in this body, and I definitely wasn't fulfilling my purpose at that time. And I got back and I had a quarterly with my boss, and she was like, "What do you like about your job?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, nothing. I'm just not, this is not the right role for me. I need to be doing what I love." And I was teaching yoga on the side, and I had outworked my work as much as I possibly could. And I accidentally quit my job that day. My boss was very gracious about it. She was like, "Okay, I guess that you're quitting." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." And so I joined a program here in Nashville at the Entrepreneurship Center, which is a pre-flight program. It's pre to launch. And I was in that, and Ashley and I had done a little bit of work on the side, and I was just in love with her and her work and what she was doing to make yoga a lifestyle and not just a movement practice. And I just knew that I could not do this without her. I wanted multiple perspectives. I wanted diversity from the beginning. I wanted as part of our leadership. And I really admired what she was doing. And so one day, 2 weeks into that program, I metaphorically got down on one knee and asked her to be my business partner forever and ever. And she graciously accepted, joined the program, and we have been together ever since. And that was almost 3 years ago. So quite the love story. And we're both incredibly grateful to be here and doing this work.
Yeah, and obviously the sense of respect for each other in terms of your experiences and what brought you to that moment, I think is a special piece of this too. And obviously a shared perspective on using those experiences and yoga as a mechanism to transform lives, not just the movement and the body. And so I think there's obviously a much larger movement afoot in terms of what you're creating with TRILUNA. So talk about the three pillars, because you have social justice and anti-racism, community mental health, body neutrality, and respect. And so talk about those three pillars that form the foundation for TRILUNA.
So yeah, we are a pro-donut, non-diet, anti-racist wellness company that specializes in mental health and social justice. We picked that because, number one, we love donuts. So if you're listening to this, we're waiting to sponsor with you. And we felt like people in workout classes were trying to earn food, and we were like, just eat the food, you know. We say it all the time, you can eat all the kale in the world, but if you have a ton amount of stress, it's not going to do anything for you. And then we go into the non-diet based on Liz's background, based on conversations that we had when I did a transformation, quote unquote. You know, I had some types of disordered eating, you know, and I was glad that we had those conversations because it made me realistic about what I was doing and the messages that I was spreading out. So that was important for us to identify the difference between wellness and fitness. And then anti-racism. I mean, we're a Black woman and a white woman who came together intentionally to show the world that we can do this. And we were very intentional about building a diverse team in the beginning. We had no idea what that would look like. It's actually a lot harder than what we thought, but we have hard conversations and we work through it, and it's made us stronger.
Carry that forward into the different areas, because you have the corporate track where you work with companies, you have a track where you're engaging the community, you have the festivals, so the much larger scale. So talk about the different ways that the community can engage with your efforts.
Yeah, we have a few different ways that we execute our educational pieces on the corporate side and on the community side. We really believe that community has the power to affect your health, and communities are made up of individuals. And so it takes both a community and an individual approach to really create the kind of incredible change that we are hoping the wellness industry can make from the inside out. So we do have our corporate workshops, one-offs for pre-records and or a series, but also we didn't want to lose touch with our community. It's so impactful to us and we're so ingrained in it. So we wanted to bring that same type of knowledge into our community. So we do that with festivals. We're having a festival at the end of October this year. We also have supper clubs where we bring in a panel of, we call them experience experts, because we're having really deep, impactful, difficult conversations in an enjoyable setting with dinner and music and all this amazing activities that are involved in that. And the final piece is that we have retreats. We do both corporate and private retreats. And that is a way to get everything that we do into one experience. It is high impact and it can be high intensity, but it is a really powerful, transformative, alchemical kind of experience. So that's how you can engage.
Before we talk about the festival and dive in deeper there, Ashley, give me one of your favorite parts of your efforts, because obviously you do a lot. So what are some of your personal favorite pieces?
I really enjoy the retreats because we are able to execute everything that we do in one setting, like Elizabeth was saying. And I think that our workshops are very thoughtfully curated, and they make people be vulnerable and share. And a lot of times, you know, people don't know that the person next to them are going through the same thing. And that's the most powerful thing that I can hear, is when someone looks at someone beside them or even on screen and say, I didn't know you were going through that as well. And so I think that we've done such a good job in sharing our stories that allow people to be vulnerable, whether it's in a workshop setting or our retreats. The retreats are just a little bit more intimate. You know, people get to just love on each other and be in a space. So that's what I'm going to say is, out of all of it, you know, the workshops, but it gets down to the core of the retreats, but it gets down to the core of the workshops that we provide.
If someone's saying, wow, this sounds like something really interesting to me, especially on the retreats, what are some of the takeaways, the experiences? Tease us a little bit with the retreats.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this all day. This is our favorite. So actually everyone that has been on a retreat with us, we're still really close with, because it creates this kind of experience where you're in an environment where you don't probably know anyone. Maybe you've come with a friend, but most of the time people don't. And that makes people more willing to share, actually. And then we try and set it up so that there's all these educational components. And we've done everything from like herbalism and creating your own bitters on site to cooking classes to different types of yoga classes, so you can kind of discover the movement practice that works for you and feels good in your body. But then we also sit around a fire after a beautiful outdoor dinner, and we just spill what is on our heart, what we're going through, what we've been dealing with, and that vulnerability piece comes out, and it creates these lasting bonds. Like friendships have happened, we've had a coupling happen, all sorts of amazing things happen as a result of this deep, intense sharing. So,
and within that community, it takes us into corporate spaces, because our first retreat that we ever did was our segue into being able to work with DraftKings.
Yeah. And again, that's, it just further highlights that every community is just made up of individuals. And so if you can impact an individual, which will impact their larger community, then that's how we start to create change on a one-to-one level.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the festival. It's the Mind Body Magic Festival. And so give us some of the highlights for this festival.
So this festival is really designed to make wellness fun and inclusive. A lot of times wellness gets put in a bucket of like, oh, I have to do this. I have to work out so I can stay in shape, and all this other kind of, for me, triggering language around our bodies, rather than how it can benefit the whole. It can benefit the community. It can benefit my mental health, all these different things. But wellness at its core should be fun. It should be a practice that you enjoy engaging in, that fills you up, that fills up your community. And the festival is designed to do just that. So you'll see everything from an outdoor yoga class led by a bunch of incredible instructors. You'll see a kids music festival. There'll be vendors from the social justice, green, and nonprofit space. There's a magic market full of all sorts of fun things. And then there's also wellness row, and of course, food and beverage. So it is a true outdoor festival. It's in fall. Everyone is all cozy up and has, their pumpkin spice lattes, and is just out there ready to have a good time. So it is my absolute favorite. It's very, very colorful. There's art, there's sidewalk chalk. So it is truly a family-friendly, fun event for everyone to come to.
Well, the fact that you love donuts and you can incorporate that just makes it so much more wholesome and fun, because it's like I can go to a festival with yoga with a donut and a latte, like you said. It's like, how awesome is that?
You sure can, and please do.
Fit in. Ashley, what's your favorite part of the festival?
My favorite part of the festival is just seeing the community. Whenever we can bring the community together, different races together in one space, it's pretty magical to me. Last year the year before last, even last year, I looked around, and just to see just this beautiful, space of all different types of individuals, it was just truly special. And that was our mission, and that was our goal. And just to see it right there in our face, it's a beautiful thing. And that's what's most special to me.
I know that obviously when we talk about a festival, the public is invited. So that's a really cool piece right there in terms of engagement, sponsorships, especially from companies. What are some ways that we as the community can help and can engage in the festival and in TRILUNA?
Yeah, definitely follow us. We have both an Instagram account for TRILUNA and for Mind Body Magic. That's kind of like the hub where we disseminate all of our information from there. That is a great way to stay involved. We, of course, have a newsletter as well. And we do have a podcast. So if you are interested in learning more, you can check us out on the Wellness Community Magic podcast. And actually, Jeremy, I would like to turn this around and ask you a question before we leave that we always ask on our podcast. Can I do that? Okay.
Sure, go for it.
Not what is your favorite, but if you were a donut, what kind would you be and why? All the glazes have been taken off the market. Original glaze is not available as an option. Can
I be an apple fritter?
Yes.
or even better yet, a peach fritter. I would be a peach fritter.
What makes you a peach fritter?
So I love peaches in general. I grew up in Texas, which was Weatherford is like Peach Festival. It's like the peach hub of Texas. So like peaches is actually kind of a cool personal storyline, but I love peaches. And I don't know, the fritter, like it's got the sugar and the sweetness and all the, the amazing flavor. At the same time, though, it's kind of big and bumpy and just kind of like out there and just kind of like it's just like a fun big donut with some fruit and flavoring that's different than you find in a traditional donut. So I would be a peach fritter.
That's a great answer. That's a
wonderful answer. And growing up, we never ate donuts. We always ate apple fritters. They were my mom's favorite, so she would always get them. So
there you go.
There it is.
It's hard to find good apple fritters. Impossible almost to find peach fritters, but it's hard to find good apple fritters. Like you gotta search them out. It's not like donut you find everywhere.
That's my new kitchen mission, is to make a peach fritter.
You'll be addicted. I tell you, the other one is a honey vanilla latte. Like I get my friends addicted to honey vanilla lattes. So yes,
that is my partner.
If you're gonna get me a peach fritter with that honey vanilla latte, and you got me.
Oh, that does sound something. It does. I feel like you can learn a lot from a person by the kind of donut or fritter they pick. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there you go. And then you get into like Belgian waffles and all sorts of. I got a sweet tooth, so we could do this all day. So wrap up on your end with you mentioned it, but website, social media. Where do we go to connect in and learn more about TRILUNA?
Yeah, the hub for everything is trilunawellness.com. That's tri like 3 and luna like moon. TRILUNA, TRILUNA, wellness.com. And from there, you can do anything from sign up to be a part of the festival, to buy one of our gift boxes, or find out what events are coming up, or hire us to do corporate events.
You can also get samples of our workbooks for our workshops. So you can visit our website, or if you're looking for corporate engagement, things like that, you can hit us up at hello@trilunawellness.com.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, Elizabeth, thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Grateful, and we appreciate you. Thank you.